Okay, so now we will be discussing the elements of hospital administration. Objectives for this lesson. At the end of the presentation, students would be able to define administration and sound administration, list the elements of hospital administration, and of course, discuss each of the elements of hospital administration. And also, in addition, uh, at the end of this lesson, you will be able to come up or uh, to plan or to come up with a plan of action as your output for this lesson. So it will be an activity, groupings, at the group, I mean yung activity bibigay ko at the end of the lesson. Okay, you will do uh, or you will apply these elements of hospital administration in the setting of a department of radiology. Okay, so let us begin. So administration. Okay. Um, when we say administration, kadalasan uh, kadalasan pumapasok sa isip natin that administration and management are uh, alike or the same. Technically, they are different, but uh, in some aspects, they can be uh, they can be associated with each other. Okay? So, katulad ng management, administration is defined as an art, both an art and science. Okay? So dito dinedefine siya as an art and science of guidance, leadership, and control. Okay? Of the efforts of a group of individuals towards some common goal. So katulad din siya ng management, di ba? When we discuss management, um, siningil out natin yung ano ba yung components ng definition ng management, di ba? Merong group of people, okay? Merong nag-lead towards a particular goal or towards the organizational goal, which is the common goal na kailangan ma-achieve. Okay? So that is administration. However, administration can either be sound or uh, not not good administration. So we define sound administration as the process of achieving defined goals at a defined time, again through guidance, leadership, and control. So through guidance, of course, the members of the organization or a department is guided by their uh, by the management, either the top level management, which are the policymakers, or the mid level or the immediate superior in the department, and through leadership also. And of course, yung control. When we say control, ito yung pag-delegate ng uh, certain task doon sa mga individuals na involved sa particular project or particular na program na ini-implement sa isang organization or isang uh, department. Okay. At the same time, when we say sound administration, of course, there is an efficient use of human and non-human resources. But last time we discussed that the meters for management is efficiency and effectiveness, and it is also uh, needed in administration na we use efficiency and effectiveness as measurement if so the certain goals or organizational goals are being met. Okay? So dito sinasabi na yun na, efficient use, tamang paggamit ng mga non-human resources. Ano ba yung mga non-human resources? Ba, such as the machines, okay, the materials used in production of a particular product. So these are non-human resources. Okay? So sabi dito, bearing in mind adequacy, speed, and economy to utmost possible level. So hindi lang siya uh, basta tamang paggamit, kung hindi, nandyan din yung kailangan ay adequate yung uh, mga materials present so that the uh, flow of work will not be impeded. Hindi magkakaroon ng pagtigil ng workflow. Kasi pag nagkaroon ng pagtigil ng workflow, maapektuhan ang output. Okay? So these are the elements of hospital administration. Okay? So first we have planning, organizing, staffing, which we discussed earlier, then budgeting, supervising, motivation, and of course, the last is evaluation. So, ito makikita natin ito, hindi lang to sa hospital administration, kung hindi sa any business model, we can see these elements being implemented. Yung staffing, may ibang term na ginagamit when it comes to the corporate setting. So staffing, normally yung salitang staffing, maririnig lang natin dyan sa uh, hospital setting. Okay? So planning. When we say planning, di ba, ang unang pumapasok sa isip natin is uh, we can see certain plans. Yung bang ito yung program, and then these are the objectives, ito yung nilalaman or ito yung mga involved. Kaya nga, isa sa uh, nakalagay dito sa ating slide, the planning determines the what, when, where, who, how, and why. Okay, so dapat when we present a certain plan, makikita uh, itong limang W na to at isang H na ito. Okay, so we first define planning. So planning is considered the most important element in any of the administrative process. Okay, so bakit siya uh, kino-consider na most important element? Okay, sa palagay nyo, bakit? Okay, can anyone answer? Bakit siya the most important element? So planning lang naman siya. Bakit siya importante? Anybody who can share their answer? Okay. Okay. Okay, so thank you. So, uh, tama, no? Planning serves as a guide towards the achievement of a particular goal. Kaya nga siya ay isang projected and predetermined course of action. Okay. So, tatanda natin na when we encounter the word planning, siya ay course of action. Siya ay sets of action na i-implement in order for a certain organization or department to achieve specific goals. Okay. So yun ang pinaka uh, purpose ng planning, 'di ba? We discussed in the previous um, lessons that in every organization may kanya-kanyang goals or may specific goal. Kasi nga itong goal nga ito yung uh, nagbubuklod dun sa mga members ng organization. Ito yung kanilang uh, kumbaga sa student, ito yung dream nila. Diba? Yung goals and objectives. And then, at the same time, uh, yun nga, siya ay set of actions. Okay. And itong planning na to, hindi lang siya mananatiling plan. It will be implemented. Okay. And in the process of implementation, ano pa rin yung uh, outcome na ina-expect na mga members ng organization. Of course, the outcome na ina-expect is the achievement of a specific goal or objective for, let's example yung uh, specific goals and objective ng isang specific program or project. Okay? Siyempre, when you achieve the goals of a specific program or project, it will also lead to the fulfillment of the organizational goal. Kasi yung mga projects and activities na ini-implement ng isang organization, siya ay uh, ginagawa, okay, in fulfillment ng common goals ng organization. Kahit na may specific goals, yung specific projects, okay, the end outcome pa rin is the fulfillment of the organizational goals. So, planning also involves decision making for future events. Okay. So, yung planning naman, 'di ba? Kaya nga siya plan. To plan means to uh, plan for the future, hindi naman siya to plan for the present, 'di ba? Laging to the future ang planning. Hindi ka gagawa ng plan para sa activity mo na ngayon ang implementation. You do planning before the implementation. Kaya siya ay decision making for future events. Okay? So in addition, the higher the level of administration, the more involvement and time devoting to planning. So different organizations have different uh, methods on how to plan. Okay. So some merong iba ng they are utilizing the strategic uh, planning, 'di ba? Yung mga types of organizational model and theories na diniscuss natin uh, in the previous lesson, in our first lesson. So, iba-iba yung kanilang planning method. Iba-iba rin yung kanilang uh, paraan kung paano makapag-develop ng isang plan. Okay? And then, in planning, it is also important to know that we should give this period or this element of hospital administration or administration sufficient time. Hindi pwedeng ura-urada ang pagpaplano. Okay. Kasi, uh, di ba, when we do planning, meron tayong plan A. Of course, there are instances that plan A cannot be applied or cannot be implemented. Therefore, gumagawa tayo ng tinatawag nating contingency plan. And this contingency plan, pwedeng isa or pwedeng dalawa. Okay? And during also the process of planning, the planning process, hindi lang naman isang plan yung i-present for a particular event, project, or activity. Okay. During the planning period, there might have or pwedeng isa o dalawa o tatlong employees ay mayroong kanya-kanyang i-present na plan of action for that particular activity. And syempre, hindi naman pwedeng yung tatlo ay ma-implement, so dadaan siya sa pagsusuri at further planning para malaman kung alin ba talaga ang magagamit na makakapag-provide ng mas magandang output for that specific project or activity. Okay. Kaya ayan, more than one plan should be available to choose from to meet the existing plan. So, bukod sa pwede siya magkaroon ng contingency plan, syempre, mas maraming ideas, mas maganda yung plan na mabubuo for a specific project or activities. So, process of systematic planning. Okay, so number one, okay, of course, is the establishment of goals. So in creating goals and objectives, okay, it must be SMART. Ano ba yung SMART? Okay, so SMART stands for specific. So goals must be specific. Goals must be measurable, okay, and attainable. It should also be realistic. And of course, time-bound. Okay. So, ganun yung paggawa ng objectives or goals. Kailangan mapapakita natin that these goals are yung kumbaga, pag in-evaluate siya, ay hindi siya parang too good to be true. Na hindi naman talaga siya mangyayari. So dapat yung goals natin ay realistic. Sabi nga, di ba? So later, yan, paggawa natin ng plan, so yan, gagawa rin tayo ng sample objectives for your output for this lesson. Okay. Then after creating goals or establishing goals and objectives, so we have to design the course of action or the implementation. Paano ba i-implement yung plan? Yung paano ba ma-achieve yung goals? Siyempre, through the implementation of certain actions. Diba? Then after designing a course of action, okay, so we must analyze and predict the consequences of such actions. Ano ba yung mga pwedeng mangyari during the implementation of the program? Okay? So yun yung kailangan nating i-analyze and predict. Kaya dapat meron tayong uh, course of, meron tayong foresight. Yung mga leaders, yung mga managers ay merong foresight. Okay? Then after which, selecting the best course of action. Kanina nag-design pa lang tayo ng mga pwedeng i-implement na course of action. Then after designing, in-analyze natin yung bawat isa at nag-predict tayo ng mga possible scenarios na pwedeng mangyari. Then after analyzing and predicting the consequences, of course, we will choose the best course of action. Yung maganda yung kalalabasan na output. And then, syempre, when we already selected, it is time to implement the plan. Okay? And of course, malalaman natin kung na-achieve ba natin yung goals and objectives after the evaluation period or phase. Okay. So, later, di-discuss natin yung evaluation. Paano ba ginagawa yung evaluation? Ano ba yung mga klase ng evaluation? Okay? Okay, so far may question ba? May tanong about sa planning? May tanong po ba? Oh, walang tanong. Sige ako magtatanong. So again, what does SMART means in establishing goals and objectives? Ano ibig sabihin ng SMART? Okay. So, bakit importante na uh, realistic ang objectives? Or bakit kailangan specific? Diba? Halimbawa, every lesson natin, di ba, ay always present the objectives for the presentation. So at the end of the presentation, students would be able to, ano yung unang objectives kanina? Define administration and sound administration. So siya ba ay smart? Yung objective ba na yun ay smart? Pasok ba siya sa smart? Specific ba siya? Specific kasi use, students would be able to define administration and sound administration. Measurable ba siya? Measurable ba sa paanong paraan? Okay. When I ask you to define and na-define ninyo, so ibig sabihin na-achieve yung objective. Therefore, it is measurable. Attainable ba siya? Kaya ba siyang ma kaya ba siyang matupad at pagkatapos ng discussion? Yes, it can be achieved or it can be attained. Okay? Ano pa? Uh, Realistic ba siya? Yes, it is realistic because at the end of the lesson, of course, you will be having, or students would be having their own uh, perception and definition of what administration and sound administration is. Then time-bound ba siya? Doon sa objective ba, may makikita tayong time frame? Yes, meron. Binanggit doon. At the end of this presentation. So, ganun po yung paggawa ng objective or goals. Okay? So, now we continue. Okay. So, principles of planning. So, yan. Kailangan natin tandaan that planning is an intellectual activity. When we say intellectual activity, ginagamitan ito ng intellect or ng isip. Kaya nga dito, planning needs knowledge, experience, foresight, reasoning, and of course, mastery of special skills and techniques. So all of this contributes to the successful planning. Okay, so knowledge. Kung wala kang sapat na knowledge towards a specific uh, project, goals, or specific activity, so how can you contribute to the planning period? Ganon din yung experience. Malaking bagay ang experience when we do planning. Okay? Kasi doon, sa experience, okay, kasama na doon yung foresight and reasoning. Okay. In experience, ma-evaluate or ma-analyze yung mga certain plans, makakapag-predict ng mga certain uh, consequences or scenarios na pwedeng mangyari during the implementation of the said plan or activity. And of course, yung mastery ng special skills and techniques. Okay, some activities or projects requires specific skills and techniques. So if you do not have these technical skills, so how can you contribute to the planning? Kaya nga, when we plan, okay, hindi lang ito ginagawa ng isang tao. It is being done by several people. Okay. Maaring meron tayong plano as an individual, pero in an organization, we are obliged to present this plan of ours sa isang body, sa isang committee, or sa isang group of people that will analyze the plan. Or sila yung naka-assign to do the planning. Okay, kung part ka ng team na yon, so you should contribute, okay, by doing a plan, okay, that is based on the following. So needs and demands of clients. So normally in a uh, hospital setting, okay, may mga services, alam, di ba, may mga services tayong ino-offer. Okay, like laboratory services and uh, imaging services. Okay. In some instances, okay, nagkakaroon ng uh, project or activity such as yung mga promo ng mga diagnostic procedures. Okay? So nagkakaroon siya ng discount. So, of course, itong mga ganitong promo, hindi siya basta-basta lang ini-implement. Dumadaan siya sa planning. Okay, dumadaan siya sa planning. And of course, yung mga ganong uh, types of activities or programs, syempre, kailangan pagbasehan natin ano ba yung needs and demands ng clients natin. Okay, let's say dyan sa mga diagnostic examination or procedure, ano ba yung mga common needs and demands? So usually, meron tayong tinatawag na basic 5. So, basic 5, these are composed of uh, chest x-ray, CBC, urinalysis, fecalysis, and physical assessment or examination. So, usually ito yung mga binibigyan ng packages or discount sa isang health institution. Kasi ito yung demand. Ito yung may demand. Ito yung kailangan ng mga clients. Particularly yung mga uh, health institutions such as mga health clinics. So available resources. May available na resources naman. Ano yung attitude ng mga clients towards certain promos? Siyempre, pag promos yan, discounted price, tatangkilikin siya ng mga clients natin. And therefore, it can produce na magandang outcome. Pwedeng marami yung magpagawa ng basic 5 kapag nag-offer tayo ng ganong promo. So, kaya nga, in planning, kailangan natin i-take into consideration the needs and demands of the clients, the available resources. Okay, when we say resources, it should or it pertains to both human and non-human resources. And of course, the attitude of the clients towards a specific program or activity. Okay? Malinaw po ba yung sa principle of planning? Okay, malinaw po ba? Remember, you will be doing a plan. You will be submitting a plan of action for a specific activity that I will be giving you at the end of the lesson. Okay? Then we go to organizing. Okay. So from the word organizing, diba, ayusin. Inaayos natin yung mga bagay-bagay. So, organizing is defined as any collection of persons, materials, procedures, and ideas or facts. So bakit may collection of person, materials, and procedures? Kasi nga, organizing. Inaayos natin, ino-organize natin into a particular arrangement. Diba? Hindi naman pwedeng, let's say, sa isang organization like a hospital, hindi naman pwedeng halo-halo sa isang department ang nurses, CladTech at MedTech, di ba? Hindi. Kaya nga may staffing na tinatawag. Okay? Pagsasama-samahin natin yung mga uh, nababagay or magkakasama sa isang department. Or in terms of organizing, let's say there are different supplies needed sa isang hospital. We have the medical supplies and non-medical supplies. Okay. So, usually, kapag dumarating ang supplies, siya ay dumadaan sa uh, procurement or sa purchasing department. Okay. And then sa purchasing, so doon na paghihiwa-hiwalayin yung mga supplies to non-medical and medical supplies. Furthermore, yung medical supplies, i-divide pa rin siya, i-organize pa rin siya sa different department. Diba? Siyempre, yung mga materials or supplies ng radiology department, so dadalhin siya sa radiology department. Yung mga medicines, of course, sa pharmacy. Mga reagents, other paraphernalias needed for blood extraction and other supplies needed for the laboratory. Sa laboratory siya dadalhin. Okay. So yun yung organizing. Okay. So it is a process that implies the arrangement of non-human and human resources in an orderly manner towards the accomplishment of organizational goals or specific project goals. Okay. So, halimbawa, sa planning, nag-organize tayo ng isang activity. Okay. So, let's say, sa school, meron tayong activity. Halimbawa, team building. So, team building activity, so, syempre sa planning or sa plan natin, na-identify sino ba yung mga involved na organizers. Okay. So these organizers have different tasks or job na kailangan nilang gawin. Let's say, may finance committee, okay, may documentation, may programs and invitation, merong games. So, yan. So, bawat isa sa nila will organize their own personnel, materials, and procedure kung paano nila ipapatupad yung mga naka-assign sa kanila. Ganon din yung pag-iisipan nila kung paano i-implement yung nakasaad dun sa plan, okay, na naka-assign sa kanila. Okay. So let's say evaluation, may evaluation committee. So anong trabaho ng evaluation? So kailangan at bago matapos ang activity, so makapagpasagot sila ng evaluation form. And then after nila makapagpasagot ng evaluation form, they will tally the evaluation, tally, then analyze, then they will give an evaluation report. Yan. So, yung mga ganon. And usually, sa evaluation, malalaman nga natin kung na-achieve yung specific goals or not. So, principles of organizing. Okay. So, itong mga to, yung mga babanggitin natin, ito yung mga makikita natin or mga ginagawa during the organizing period. Departmentalization. Katulad ng example natin kanina. So, paghiwa-hiwalayin ang mga staff based on their expertise, pagsasama-samahin sila sa isang department. So, departmentalization. Then, acquisition of human and non-human resources. Okay. So, sa acquisition of human and non-human resources, may dalawang department na hahawak dito. Magkaiba. Okay. For the human resources, merong human resources department. And for the non-human resources, dito napapasok yung either finance department or may specific na purchasing department. Okay. Then, specialization and division of labor. So makikita rin natin yan. Okay? So organizing. So specialization. So usually, makikita natin yan sa mga listahan ng mga doctors. Diba? Magkakagrupo yung may same specialization. Okay? Magkakasama yung mga OB, OB-GYN, yung mga internist, mga internal medicine doctors, magkakasama sila sa listahan. And therefore, yung division of labor din. Okay, ganun din. Okay. So another type of specialization, yung pagdating sa mga nurses, okay, or sa atin, yung ibang lab tech na pupunta sa mga specialized modality, diba? So they have their own job description. Magkaibang job description ng MRI technologies sa general radiographer. Diba? Though may similarities, pero syempre magkaiba pa rin because of the modality that they are handling. And then coordination. Okay. So syempre, may presence ng coordination sa organizing. Okay. Bakit? Bakit mahalaga yung coordination? Okay. Let's say, in implementing a particular activity, okay, kailangan mo ng mga katulong or kasama na mag-implement. Hindi mo kakayanin na ikaw lang. So, you can coordinate with other departments or other teams na pwedeng makagawa ng isang specific na job para makatulong sa implementation. So, coordination. Then, authority and responsibility. So, syempre, when we are planning, okay, so kasama dito na nilalagay natin sino ba yung mga organizer. And these organizers, kung sino man sila, ay may authority and of course responsibility over the project or activity that will be implemented. Then, centralization and decentralization. In organizing, let's say, sa isang particular activity, okay, it is centralized. Centralized in the sense that in a certain activity, there is, meron lang isang overall chairperson, halimbawa, activity chairperson overall. So siya ang magkocontrol ng lahat. Ibig sabihin centralized. However, at the same time, it is decentralized. Bakit decentralized? Kasi merong iba't ibang committees. Yung binanggit natin example ng mga committees. Like the program invitation, the food and accommodation, halimbawa games. So, meron pa rin silang sari-sariling uh, committees, and these committees can act by themselves. Okay. Then, unity of command. Okay. So, kung meron ng uh, kung merong overall uh, chairperson or in charge sa isang activity, so meron siyang unity of command. So siya lang yung authority. Okay. All authority uh, ay nasa kanya unless authority are or authority is delegated to each of the committee. So, syempre, yung bawat committee may kanya-kanyang specific authority sila. Authority dun sa uh, mga activity, mga in charge sa kanila. Like, program and invitation. So, ang authority nila is limited only to the implementation of the program itself or the program proper. So, yun. Example ng unity of command. Then, clear lines of authority and staff. So, ayun, ganun pa rin. Yung lines of authority from the overall chairperson papunta sa mga uh, chairperson ng bawat committee down to their members. Yan. So it is clearly delineated dapat sa mga plan. Okay. Sa pagpa-planning at therefore pagdating sa organizing, yan, makikita natin na clear yung lines of authority. Okay? So my question po sa principles of organizing. May question po ba? Okay. So kung wala, let us continue. Okay, staffing. So before, di ba, we already defined staffing as the recruitment, selection, training, development of people who will be most effective in helping the organization meet its goal. So in addition to that, staffing is the process of personalizing. Personnel, not personal. Personalizing the organization by hiring the right type, the adequate number of workers for each unit for a required time for a required time. Okay. Kaya nga, yung premise natin na staffing ng mga RadTech or sa radiology department depending on the hospital level and bed capacity. So, hindi lang basta right type of personnel but also the adequate number of personnel working in a specific department. Okay. So, kaya number one, identify the type and number of personnel. So, ayan. May guide naman yung mga HR, usually the HR, alam nila kung ilan yung i-hire na personnel for any specific department. Okay. Kapag na-identify na nila, then they will issue a recruitment advertisement. Okay, syempre, kapag may nag-apply na, then selection will be done. Okay. Selection, kasama na dyan yung examination, interview. Then, kung successful in the examination and interview, okay, the said uh, worker or personnel will be given appointment papers, usually in the form of contract. Then after which, the personnel, the hired staff, will undergo orientation. And doon natatapos yung staffing sa orientation. Okay? And after staffing, we have budgeting. So, very uh, easy to understand naman yung budgeting. So, it is the allocation of financial resources, okay, in support for the programs or activities. So, sabi rin dito that a budget uh, should be balanced, should be a balanced estimate of both expenditures and receipts for a given period of time. Ano ba yung expenditures and receipts? When we say expenditures, ito yung paggastos, expenses. When we say receipts, in the financial term, ito yung mga possible income. Okay? Then, these are the main activities under budgeting. Of course, budgeting yung isa, allocation of financial resources. Then accounting, when we say accounting, it is the summarization ng lahat ng financial resources or financial interaction within and outside the organization. Okay. Then purchasing, ito yung pagbili, okay, ng mga materials, ng mga machines, ng mga other non-human resources. And then of course, auditing. Auditing is a process in which we investigate whether the use of financial resources are on track. Diba? Kaya nga, wala tayong naririnig sa balita kung hindi yung normally yung Senate investigation regarding the budget or the overpricing ng mga PPE dahil sa Commission on Audit Report na nanggaling sa auditing lahat. Okay? Okay? So, accounting record summarization, auditing investigation, and reporting ng fidelity and legality of all financial transactions. And of course, purchasing is the acquisition of property and materials in administration. Okay? So may question ba? Wala naman. So, ayan. So, bakit kailangan natin itong pag-aralan? Kasi po, okay, hindi naman ang isang radtech ay mananatiling radtech lang habang buhay. Okay. Some of us will be promoted to a managerial position or a supervisory position. And in the managerial positions, okay, there are certain tasks and responsibility, okay, na naka-akibat sa posisyon as Chief Radiologic Technologist or Department Supervisor or Manager. Okay. So, diba, nabanggit ko naman before kung ano yung mga ibang trabaho nila. Like, doing the inventory. Okay. So, doing the inventory, siya ay pagbibilang lang naman. Pero at the same time, at the end of the year, nagkakaroon ng auditing. And usually, yung chief tech, siya yung sumasama sa auditor sa pag-check ng mga uh, supplies. Yun, ino-audit kasi yung mga supplies uh, annually. Kung tama ba yung na, na nire-request na supply, tama lang ba? Wala bang sumasobra? Wala bang na-expire? Okay. So yun yung uh, mga ginagawa ng isang department manager or department supervisor. Bukod sa auditing, okay, so na, maaari rin mag-request ng uh, pag-purchase ng certain material supplies and other needed paraphernalias such as, let's say, image receptor, cassette, or grid, diba? Or kung sira-sira na yung LED apron, so magre-request si Chief Tech ng LED apron. So yun. And usually, yung mga ganyang request ay hindi na-approve kapag hindi kasama sa budget na sinabit ng department. So dapat may foresight nga yung manager or yung leader ng isang department to know what materials and supplies will be needed for the whole year. Okay? Then supervising. Okay. So this refers to the day-to-day relationship between the boss, the manager, and his immediate subordinates. Okay. And also in the supervising, okay, it happens not only in the day-to-day relationship but also in the implementation of the plan. Okay. So however, the aim of supervising is the satisfaction of both work and workers. Okay? So, may factors daw na nakaka-affect sa style ng supervision. So, there are different types of or style of supervision. Okay. So, these factors daw ay the following. Condition present, ano yung current condition ng organization or ng department. Okay, ano yung mga characteristics ng mga employees or subordinates? Ano yung nature of work? Ano yung type of work? Clerical work ba yan? Technical work? Diba? Siyempre tayo, hindi tayo clerical work. Tayo ay technical because we are doing specific roles in the operation of our machines. Then, syempre, pinaka nakaka-affect or nakaka-epekto sa style ng supervision ay yung personal characteristic ng manager. Okay? Yung personal attitude ng manager. Okay. So there are managers na very strict. Meron naman managers na very diplomatic. Okay? So, during my work in the medical city clinics, naka-encounter ako ng manager na very strict na ultimo isang piraso ng tissue ay kune-question niya kung bakit madaling maubos. Okay? At naka-encounter din ako ng manager na very diplomatic na diplomatic in the sense na halos wala siyang pakialam kung gaano karaming supply ang maubos mo. Basta namimit natin yung ating target na income. So, ayun. Depende sa ugali ng manager. At itong yung last na manager na binanggit ko, hindi siya masyadong nagsusupervise ng kanyang mga employees. Okay? Unless merong negative na uh, negative na news na nakarating sa kanya. Saka lang siya mag-observe. But if all things are going well, so hindi siya yung palaging nakatingin sa mga employees. Okay? Siyempre, pagdating sa motivation, kasama dyan yung characteristic ng immediate superior kung paano namo-motivate ang mga employees and workers, di ba? Yan, motivation. It is defined as an externally induced behavior which occurs in order to bring out or maintain our needs fulfillment. Ano ba yung ating mga needs? Diba? We have different needs according to Maslow. Naalala niyo pa ba? The hierarchy of needs, the physiological needs, then anong after ng physiological needs? Security, then love and belongingness. Anong next after love and belongingness? Self-esteem and self-actualization. So, in motivation, sabi dito, the following conditions are needed in building high levels of motivation. So, achievement, either achievement ng organization or ng individual. Of course, organizational policy affects greatly the motivation of its members or employees or workers. Diba? Kung hindi maganda ang organizational policy, so hindi kontento yung mga employees, so mababa ang motivation. Then recognition, okay? So if the organization recognizes the achievement of its members, so it can add to the level of motivation. Okay? Then technical supervision, technical yan, technical supervision, meaning the senior or the department manager uh, assist or teaches the new employees, so that can boost the motivation for the new employees. Advancement in career. So when we say career advancement, ito yung tinatawag in layman's term na promotion. Diba? Let's say from junior radtech, magiging senior radtech ka, or sa public, from radtech 1, magiging radtech 2, then radtech 3, and so on. Then interpersonal relationship between the employees, and not only between the employees, but also between employees and the immediate supervisor. It is very important. Then working conditions. Kung mapapansin natin, or kung nabalitaan ninyo, maraming nagre-resign na health workers. Sa PGH, ang dami nag-resign this past few weeks. Bakit? Because of the working conditions. Ano ba yung working conditions? Dahil sa dami ng pasyente at sa dami rin ng mga healthcare workers na nagkakasakit, nahahawa ng COVID-19. Then salary and compensation. Of course, when you are given an increase in salary and benefits, it can boost motivation. However, okay, hindi lahat na employees ay importante ang salary and compensation. Okay, yung isang katrabaho ko before, lumipat siya, sabay kami nag-start. Pioneer kami sa branch namin ng market. So, sabay kami doon nag-start. And nalaman ko doon sa dati niyang trabaho, siya pala ay roaming supervisor na ng RadTech. Ibig sabihin, yung mga branches ng clinic nila ay iniikutan niya to supervise. Malaki daw ang sweldo niya pero sabi niya, malayo kasi sa bahay nila. So, nag-decide siya na lumipat ang trabaho, yung mas malapit sa tinitira nila. So, not all persons are concerned with salary and compensation. Kaya yung iba mas matimbang ang interpersonal relationship, organization policy, and working conditions. Okay? And of course, some employees, kapag binigyan mo ng responsibility, it can boost their morale, it can boost their self-esteem, and therefore, it can increase their motivation in doing their work efficiently and effectively. And of course, ito yung pinakauli at isa sa mga pinaka-importante is job security. When we say job security, it is the security in tenure. Security of tenure. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka pwedeng basta-basta tanggalin sa trabaho mo kung ikaw ay may security of tenure. Kung ikaw ay na-regular sa trabaho, meron ka security of tenure. Hindi ka basta-basta pwedeng tanggalin ng walang dahilan. Okay? Halimbawa, ikaw ay probationary employee. Okay. And lumampas ka na sa pagiging probationary. Lumampas ka na 6 months. At walang sinasabi ang HR or ang company. You will become automatically a regular employee of the company kapag lumampas ka ng 6 months. Kaya usually, kapag ang isang employee ay hindi nakapasa sa evaluation ng probationary period, on the 5th month pa lang, ika-5 buwan pa lang, sinasabihan na siya na hindi siya nakapasa sa probationary period. At siya ay mataterminate na sa specific date na nakaprovide dun sa letter na binibigay. Okay? So, dapat laging ito tatandaan, once you are a regular employee, you already have security of tenure. And once na lumampas ng 6 months yung pagiging probationary mo nang walang any information or letter coming from the HR na ikaw ay hindi magpapatuloy sa pagiging regular or ikaw ay ma-extend yung probationary period mo. Kung walang ganong document, so you will be automatically become a regular employee. Okay? So dapat yan, alam niyo yung mga ganyang bagay para hindi kayo naluloko ng mga company. Then we proceed to the last element, which is evaluation. Okay. It is a systemic collection of information about the activities, okay, characteristics and outcomes of the programs, either programs, personnel, and products for the use of specific people. Okay. So basically, evaluation, ginagamit siya sa tatlong bagay. Sa structure, sa personnel, and sa outcomes or sa product. Types of evaluation. Structure pertaining to the either activity or program or procedure or process. Sorry, yung process naman, ito na yung kasama na din yung personnel. Okay? And then the outcome or impact is the product. So yan yung mga karaniwan natin na ini-evaluate. Okay. Sa process, impact, and personnel, so usually, meron tayong tinatawag na feedback mechanism. And this feedback mechanism, okay, it serves as an evaluation of the services ng personnel. Okay? At the same time, yung kung yung client ba ay satisfied sa product na na-produce ng isang specific organization. And yung sa structure naman na evaluation, usually siya ay ginagawa annually. Okay, let's say, ang employees ba ay satisfied sa mga benepisyo na kanyang nakukuha sa company? Okay? Satisfied ba siya sa workload? Yung mga ganyan. So, ini-evaluate din yun. Hindi lang employees ang ini-evaluate, kung hindi pati yung structure or yung policy. So, example ng pag-evaluate. So, before, nung nag-start ako magtrabaho, ang aming trabaho ay 5 days. 5 days a week. Yung ika-6 day, dalawa yung day off namin. Yung isang day off namin, bayad. Bakit bayad? Kasi papasok kami ng 4 na araw na 12 hours. Okay? 4 days na 12 hours and 1 day na 8 hours. So, ilan yon? That is 48 hours per week. Kaya nagiging bayad yung isang day off. Okay? So, kung ikaw ay magkatrabaho doon, nakakapagod. Nakakapagod magtrabaho ng 12 hours or 11 hours a day or 4 days sunod-sunod. Diba? So, nung nagkaroon ng survey, sinuggest na bawasan. Ang naging response ng company, binawasan nila ng 4 hours yung duty. Diba? Hindi pa nilubos na 8 hours ang tinanggal. Kasi yung ibang healthcare institution, okay, dalawa talaga yung day off nila. and ang pinapasok lang nila sa ah, loob ng isang linggo ay 40 hours. Okay. So, anyhow, may pagbabago naman, nakinig naman ang management sa suggestion ng kanyang mga employees. Naging 44 hours per week na lang. Okay? So these are the elements of evaluation. Ito yung mga tinitingnan or dapat tingnan when we do evaluation. Yung relevance. Relevance sa activity, ng project, ng product. Okay? Adequacy. Same. May adequate ba yung product? Okay? Accessibility. Let's say sa isang program, accessible ba yung venue? Okay? Then, acceptability. Okay? Ito bang certain promo or project ay madaling or marami yung tumangkilik. So, pag maraming nag-avail, ibig sabihin, mataas yung acceptability rate. And then, effectiveness and efficiency. Okay? Then, of course, the impact. Ano yung outcome na, ano yung pinaka-outcome na na-produce na certain program activities or na isang product, ano yung kanyang impact. So ito yung mga tinitingnan natin when we do evaluation. Okay? Maaaring hindi siya lahat ay present, pero ito na yung basis or basis ng evaluation. Okay. So, steps in evaluation. Okay, first, we describe the program in terms of objectives. Diba? Noong una, sinabi natin that the first step in planning is the establishment or formulation of objectives. Okay. And in the evaluation, kailangan ma-identify din natin yung objective sa program. Bakit? Kasi ito yung ating i-evaluate kung siya ba ay met or unmet. Siya ba ay achieved or unachieved? Siya ba ay attained or not attained, di ba? Okay. So there are two types of objective. The outcome objectives, okay? So meaning, okay, so it is the amount of change expected for a given health problem. Para hindi ko health problem. Wait lang. Okay? For a given health problem for a specific population within a given time frame. So, outcome. Ano ba yung nangyaring outcome? May pagbabago ba? Tumaas ba yung bilang ng may health problem? Or bumaba ba yung bilang ng may health problem dahil sa project or activity na isinagawa nyo? Okay, so that is the outcome objectives. Yung process objectives naman, ito ay isang statement na tinitingnan yung amount of change expected in the performance and utilization of intervention that contributes to the outcome. So, ang tinitingnan naman dito ay yung process, yung performance, at yung paggamit sa mga specific interventions para magkaroon ng epekto doon sa outcome, sa result ng activity or ng project. Okay. Then second step is to specify the evaluation design. Okay, so syempre, when we define or specify the evaluation design, una dapat alamin muna natin ano ba yung purpose ng evaluation. Okay, so let's say, kapag ang ina-evaluate natin ay isang activity, okay, let's say symposium, seminar symposium. Okay, so ano ba yung purpose ng evaluation natin when we evaluate seminar symposium? Okay, so a possible purpose is for the improvement. Kung mayroong pang room for improvement yung seminar na nangyari. Okay? So that is one purpose of evaluation. Okay. So define the methodology. Ano ba yung methods natin ng evaluation? So, meron tayong tinatawag na summative evaluation and meron din tayong tinatawag na program evaluation. Okay, when we do program evaluation, ang ini-evaluate natin ay kung paano kinandak yung program. Pero kapag summative, let's say sa isang seminar symposium, okay, may dalawang evaluation na gagawin. Program evaluation and summative evaluation. Program evaluation, so evaluate nyo doon yung venue, yung speaker, yung sound system, yung food, etc. Yun yung mga evaluate nyo for program. Yung summative evaluation naman, based sa lecture ng speaker, okay, magkakaroon kayo ng parang quiz. And that is also a way of evaluation kung titingnan kung may natutunan ba kayo dun sa ginawang seminar symposium. Then, identify who will use the data obtained through the evaluation. Okay. So, yung una, yung program is for the organizers. Yung summative evaluation, pwede siyang yung data na ma-obtain doon ay pwedeng gamitin ng college o PradTech. So, yun. So, yan yung mga tinitingnan in specifying evaluation design. Then after, kapag specify ng evaluation design, so magagather na tayo ng credible evidence or information. So yun na nga yung pagpapasagot ng mga evaluation forms. At hindi lang yun, documentation can also be a source of information. So mga pictures, halimbawa, they can also be presented as evidences or information. Then, after, so nandiyan na yung analysis and justification of results. So, itatali yung mga forms or yung mga evaluation forms, itatali, interpret, and gagawa ng report. So, justification. Gagawa ng report, and kung may mga recommendations, so kung ano man yung recommendations, then susunod na step is taking actions, implementation of the recommendation. Then after implementation of the recommendation, magkakaroon ng evaluation. And remember, evaluation is an ongoing process. Okay? So, ang re-evaluation ay patuloy siyang ginagawa, paulit-ulit siyang ginagawa. Okay? Other terms for evaluation ay assessment. Okay? So, sa mga personnel, uh, minsan annual assessment or biannual, sorry, hindi biannual. Uh, twice, twice a year ang assessment. Sa mga products or processes, either quarterly assessment or evaluation. Okay? Pero sa mga specific projects and activities, okay, isang evaluation lang yun. And the re-evaluation will happen after uh, kung mauulit-ulit yung ganong activity. Saka i-apply yung recommendation. Then, magkakaroon ng re-evaluation based on the recommendations. Okay? Okay. So, do you have any questions? So that ends our discussion for today.